Excalibur Phoenix crossbow with a TriggerTech trigger. I'm the author of Crossbow Hunting, and here is a test of a new trigger for Excalibur crossbows.
I'm Hovey Smith, the backyard sportsman. What I have on the table in front of me is a disassembled Excalibur Phoenix crossbow. Excalibur crossbows are noted because they are all recurved bows and always have been. This is a very simple stringing system, and you don't have the wheels and the cables that other types of crossbows have. This particular crossbow is the Phoenix, which is in Excalibur's mid-range of crossbow prices. They range between about $500 odd up to about $800 odd, depending on where you buy them and what accessories they have with them. This one comes with an Excalibur Verizon scope. So you set for the arrow speed, and it indexes some reticles for 20 yards and further. All right, and we've already mounted the scope on the base. We also have, with this particular crossbow, a new trigger by TriggerTech. Here it is, set up with the arrow retaining piece ready to install. I'm going to show you how to install it. Now, this trigger is visually very nearly identical with the factory trigger. So what's the difference? Well, the TriggerTech trigger has a two-stage trigger pull and a very clean brake that is designed particularly for hunters. Now, I've had a chance to look at it externally, and it is a bit finer finish than the factory trigger. Has a better polish on it. All right. The parts externally look not quite identical, but quite similar. So it's apparent to me that, yes, what the designers done have taken the Excalibur design and tweaked it a little bit to get a better trigger pull. However, some things didn't come off as well. One is the safety. Excalibur has a non-automatic safety, and when you put it off, did you hear that? All right, now let's listen to the Excalibur crossbow safety. Not near as much noise. Now, this isn't really significant if you see your deer coming at 80 or 90 yards and you put your crossbow out the shooting port and you take him when he comes up to 20 or so. Well, I hunt very thick cover. So very often I see my deer at 20 yards to start with, and I may actually take the deer at 7 or 8 yards. Spear throwing range. Yeah. And that is too much noise to flick the safety off. That can spook my deer. Now you can very carefully push it up and hold it so it doesn't make the clicking sound. So you can get around it if you have time and the presence of mind to do it when you've got a 170 class deer sitting right there at 3 yards. Well, all right, we're going to see if we can get that to work, because I have a 170 class deer, and the last time I saw it, it was 3 yards from my deer stand, but it was not in a position where I could safely shoot it. So, assembling everything, here's your barrel. I've already removed it. You take your trigger group, you put it in your barrel, you push it in, push it down. It fits pretty snugly. 2 long screws with lock washers. All right. These go underneath to hold it on. One you put in this way. All right, get it in there. Screw it down. And by the way, this takes English Allen screws rather than metric ones. And you do want to make sure you have your lock washer in there. 2. And you have a hole at the bottom that you go through. Let's see if you can find it. There we go. All right, that's good. Now, we take the barrel and we fit it in the stock. Okay, that's snug. And you have 2 screws. Your longer screw goes in the front. This has Loctite on it, by the way, so they're a little stiff to go in. It cinched it up. Shorter screw in the rear. Okay. Now, mount the scope. Now the scope uses 4 short screws and goes in the top of the trigger group. Again, start the other 2. Okay, we've got them all started now. Cinch them up. Okay. Now the front end part goes pretty simply. Alright, like yay. I can actually put it in my lap and do it. That's the best way. Okay. So now we can tighten up. All right. That's pretty snug, which is fine. Okay. So now we have our crossbow put together, and we're going to take it out on the range and sight it in. I've got a target out there at 20 yards, and I put a little lube on the rails and going to put a little wax on the string, and then we will see what she will do. My maximum shot in the area where I'm going to be hunting is actually going to be about 25 yards. So this is going to be a pretty quick sighting in, I think, because I'm not going to shoot shots and shots and shots and shots at various ranges as people would who say we're all more into target shooting crossbows than hunting with them. Okay. Another thing I do is I am comparatively small, 5 feet 6.5 inches right now. I'm actually shrinking, and to make it easier to draw the crossbows, I have knots in the drawstring. So that way I don't have to work quite so hard or pull at an unusual angle to get the crossbow cocked. Okay. We will proceed to do that now. There is a nice groove right back here on the back of the stock. So that does it. I don't know if I'll be able to cock it sitting down, but we shall see. It's useful if you can. All right. Yes, I can. It's a little bit of a stretch, but not much. Okay, so I could cock this actually in the deer stand. If I needed a rapid second shot, that's handy. Okay, the arrow's in. Push up to fire. So we should be ready to go. Okay. Nice trigger pull. Whoa. Hit the target all right. So we'll see what we did and adjust accordingly. Well, that one hit about 2 inches low. The crossbow is doing something a little strange. I think it has to do more with it actually shooting in than with me aiming at a different spot. It's climbing a little bit and heading in the same direction, about 45 degrees. So we found we had some loose screws to be tightened, but I believe we have now solved the problem. So put up a new target face and we'll see how we do. Well, I do believe that that will kill deer. I'm going to try one more time. Yes, sir. That will surely get the job done. First hole, second hole. Woof. And I do like the way the trigger pulls. Yep. You get a two-stage trigger. You take up the slack, and then it's very, very crisp indeed. But this is exactly how a good crossbow should shoot at 20 yards. Bruh.
Here are close-up photos of the two trigger groups. Now, I talked to the people at TriggerTech, and they have been invited to comment on this video and about their noisy trigger. So look for the comments to come later. Now, I am the author of Crossbow Hunting, as well as Backyard Deer Hunting, and Practical Bow Fishing, and Extreme Muzzleloading, which are available as both softcover and ebooks. I have an 8-book ebook series coming out on muzzleloading guns, and the most recent title is Hunting Big and Small Game with Muzzleloading Pistols. For more information on TriggerTech's triggers, you can go to their website at www.triggertech.com or give them a call. Now, the trigger that I actually tested is the 2.5-pound Hunter model. They also have a Target model as well as triggers for the Excalibur Matrix crossbow for an additional $20 each. For information on my books, blogs, and videos, go to my website at www.hoveysmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye and God bless.